Okay, update. I don't have any. I have a lot of millimeters left on the variator. I believe, since I'm a new quad guy, I really don't know exactly. But I believe I put higher pressure clutch springs in already. Those that are inside the clutch. And then I put the ZTR spring in at 1,000 pounds, which I got off eBay. And now I'm not even sure, as I bought it from a private seller, he might have, who knows, I might not even have that poundage spring. But at any rate, I think the transmission was not shifting because I didn't do my research, I guess, good enough. Well, I did a lot of research, like a week's worth at least. But I just never saw this particular thing that says if you're going to go with sliders, they should be 1 gram higher weight than, let's just say 1 gram. A 4.5 gram slider is really like a 3.5 gram roller. So if I had known that calculation, I would have not bought 4.5 gram sliders, because with the 4.5 gram sliders in the variator and this ZTR spring, which is supposedly it's supposed to be a 1,000 pound, but I'm not even sure because, like I said, I bought it from a private person on eBay. It could be different, and I don't want to dog ZTR, but they supposedly they are the best racing springs. This is ZTR spring. I think they just have like some sort of coloring on it, like a red dot or something. But this thing's, I think it's actually binding in the clutch also. It's not spinning. It's not spinning freely on the bottom here, and I think it's supposed to. It's kind of sticking. Yeah, so I think they call it spring binding. So it's actually no good for this one. And this one does spin, the old one. So maybe coupled with it not spinning, which I'm not even sure if it's supposed to spin at the bottom of that. I think it is actually. Actually, I'm pretty confident it actually is supposed to spin. So it was binding, I guess, and maybe because if it's increased pressure. What I recently learned from the internet is don't change your spring unless you're sure your rear belt is slipping. And that's what I've heard. And this pulley the rear pulley is considerably larger than the variator. So I think if anything's going to slip first, it's probably going to be the variator, because this is so much larger and has so much mass on the belt. I would imagine that the variator is going to slip first. But what I think was happening was the belt was being squeezed so tight that it wouldn't allow for the belt to travel down into the rear pulley, therefore not allowing it to go up in the variator pulley, meaning that it wasn't shifting gears. So that's what I was just left with. So I removed the spacers too first, and then put the damn thing back together again, and that did nothing. I still wound up with the exact same situation. The bike wasn't shifting. I mean, it's ripping out. As soon as you hit the gas, it's ripping out even on the concrete. But that's great. It wasn't shifting gears, so that's not usable. So I think I'm going to leave the shims out, because I'm just taking the belt, putting it in I'm putting it in this rear pulley to see if the belt contact is good all around. And it is. It's contacting the sides really well with the angles of this rear pulley. So I'm not even going to try to resurface it like I did with the variator pulley. I did resurface the variator pulley because there was light spots showing through it, and it wasn't truly faced. What I did notice is the torque driver mod, which I'm going to do in a few minutes, once supposedly this cap comes off. This thing here pops off, which I've been trying to get it off. It's not coming off right now. And then when it pops out, these pins come out of it, and then I can just drill down the I'll show that later. I according to what I'm doing here, closing it all the way and opening it all the way, the belt cannot travel as far as it could possibly if I do this torque driver mod. Then it will be able to travel down a little bit further, therefore increasing the top end speed of this bike. So just by putting the belt in there, I can see that the belt is contacting the pulleys well on both sides. And I can see that the belt is not going all the way down as far as it could. And one of the mods that I saw was you elongate the torque driver. You'll see that mod in a few minutes. And then it allows this to open a little bit further so the belt can go down. Now, one of the things, they're saying this is a test and tune type thing. So no bike is going to be exactly the same. But I mean, just by taking apart, you put the pieces together. This belt is not the stock belt. Again, it's like a little bit wider. I think the stock belt is a 16, 287 16, 30. So this is a little shorter and a millimeter wider. So with that taking into effect, I have all sorts of different things going on than a stock machine, just because of the belt size. So, but even with this wider belt, well, actually, if I had the smaller belt, it might ride down into that pulley a little bit better. But then, I don't know, maybe I won't have the contact in the front, whatever. That's never here nor there. What I have is, I took the belt, put it in the pulleys, and I can see that it's not going down as far as it could. So I'm going to do the torque driver mod, which is going to allow it to open just another millimeter or so, which will allow this belt to get down on it a little bit further, and therefore raising your top speed. So again, research. I would have bought the 5.5 weight sliders, and also according to my research, this ZTR spring, even if it is the 1,000 pound spring, it's rated like 15% higher than the Molosi 1500 RPM spring. So this 1,000 pound spring is rated at 15% stronger than a 1,500 pound Molosi spring. So this spring is just, I don't know, it's just really tough. And it appears that it is binding in that. So the transmission's not shifting gears. And so I'm taking it out, putting it back to soft spring. And because I do have the lighter rollers, and I don't want to, they say don't overdo your torque driver spring, because then you start putting excessive wear on the belt. And the belts are $30-40. So, you know, we don't want to start wearing those parts out for the sake of a $10 spring or $15 spring. And we don't want to keep going into this machine to change belts. So I'm going to put the softer spring on, and I think that is going to fix this dilemma. And I think I'm still going to have that rip-out power, especially in the dirt, off the line, which I didn't have before. And I think that's it. And as far as getting this stuff off, I mean, I'm getting it off now. I had this around, this tiny little compact gun. It's just like an impact type thing. And I don't know if I can show it to you. No, I can't show it to you. But I'm actually getting off with this. I just hold the pulley with my hand and let it bang a little bit. Bang, 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 and it comes off. But I did show the way to get these pulleys off the other way, but now it's like just it's coming right off, because it's not actually as hard on there. But and again, this clutch nut that sits on the top when you pop the spring off, I thought, oh, I just took it off. My feet are on it really strong. I told my kid, move out of the way, you know, and this thing could explode, you know. And then it just pops off so easy. It's like, I mean, I'm seeing all these videos to put it in these machines and watch out. It's going to, you know, I mean, I guess because I am working on a 90cc bike, so we are talking about a small spring. I guess if you had like a really big spring, they might have some sort of issue maybe, but I don't know. This spring just, there's not much tension on it. I put my feet on it, it barely even pops. So that, okay, so I'll pause for now. Okay, update. This is like the third time I've taken this quad apart. So I took it apart again today. Took the spring out, the ZTR. That might have been definitely too heavy. I still have the clutch springs in there, 1500. And I still have the Dr. Pulley rollers in there. So the bike did get better. I was able to go faster. But within a second or two, the RPMs shoot up to really high. And after riding the bike for about 5 minutes or so, with high RPMs, I was pulling my kids around on sleds. I had like a soft freeze, I guess, on the engine or whatever, because it started up again once it cooled down, but it's overheating because it's just revving really high, and it's not shifting, I guess. So the 4.5 gram sliders are just not really working for me at all. So now I'm going to put back the original sliders tomorrow because my back hurts from doing this today. So then I'll be back to the only difference I've done in here. Well, I did the mod faces on the, I did do the torque driver. I just took a drill bit and elongated them a little with a regular drill bit. It was pretty easy to elongate them. I just took a small drill bit, stuck it in there, and like you see there, and elongated them. And I could see that the belt was able to travel lower on the torque driver. I mean lower on the rear housing. I attempted to drill some holes in the clutch bell to make it even lighter after I grinded it, but I broke 2 bits trying to do it and gave up on that. So I put it back together again. I think this is the 3rd time, and I'm going to have to go back in there, take those sliders out, and go back to my original weights because I don't have any other weights on me right now. And you know, it's kind of fast off the line right now anyway. When I put the original ones back, it's going to be fast enough for my kids right now. And then maybe down the road a bit, I'll lighten up the rollers a little if need be. I could just take some material out of the rollers. I mean, I don't even think I have to. It kind of moves off the line right now with the mods I've already made. So I mean, you could just stick something. Yeah, I could just stick a drill bit in the center of here and take out some weight if I want. But I don't know. I think with all the mods I've done already, I'm gonna need some more top end. I'd say. So I'm not gonna do that. So save yourself money, and I might say the sliders were a good option if I had known that you need to go. If you have 7-gram rollers, which I believe that are in this engine, if I wanted to get a lighter weight and equivalent slider, 6.5 would have been perfect, probably, because they say that the sliders will, you add 1 gram to the slider weight versus the roller weight because of the shape, I guess. So I wish I would have gotten, you know, a 6.5 slider or a 6-gram slider. That probably would have been where I wanted to be based on my test and tuning. But well, I did get a higher stall because of the clutch springs I put in. So, but I'm starting to think because yesterday I rode the quad and I tapped the gas and the thing jumped, and it almost took me off of it. So I'm thinking to myself that it's a little too jumpy for my kids, being that they're not experienced. So I'm just going to go back to the original rollers, and then at least down the road, if I want to do more things to it to make it faster, you know, I'll make it. You know, there's other things to do, which is a bigger carb, which I'm not going to do because they don't need it right now. But and a bore kit. So down the road, if they outgrow this with speed wise, I'll just do those 2 mods, and we'll get a lot more out of this thing, and maybe a lighter roll down the road. But I think I'm just about done with that. The air mod, I thought possibly I was getting too much air in here today. So let me get a flashlight on that. Thought I might have been getting too much air, and that's why it wasn't running right, because it was 28 degrees. So I thought maybe, you know, more dense air. I was getting too much air. So to, you know, just to, that's my little airbox mod pipe. I just stuck a bolt in it and screwed it in. I probably could take it out because now I realize what was, and there's the additional tube that I put in. And I was going to cut it. I'm going to cut it and put it back in there, and I'll probably take that off. But right now the air is real cold, so I think I'm going to let it run. We'll see. I got to change the rollers because it's really just revving so high that I can't really. It's overheating. It's revving so high. So I'm going to go back. So really, if you take my mod course now, I'll go over the mod list now, and just to give you guys an idea, I had my cost at $123, but I mean, I guess I could if I would have known better, I would have had 6 gram sliders. That would have probably been a good option, but instead I got 4.5, and they're way too light. So the mods: front sprocket 50cc, $20 shipped. I opened the reed cage to allow more air and fuel in. That's free. Exhaust header bore a bit and remove a few millimeters of excess weld. That was the weld inside the exhaust pipe on the exit off the engine. There was quite a bit of weld material in there. I just cut it out. Cut out the back of the exhaust. That's free too. Drilled through the baffle just with a screw gun. That was free. Ream jets to enlarge pilot and main. That was free. Bore cob, keeping the venturi and opening up about 3 millimeters. That was free. Raise the jet needle, the needle in the middle. That's free. Also, just want to adjust your throttle cable so your carb opens all the way. That's free. And adjust your choke cable too, so that the choke pulls out and you get the right fuel in the beginning. Air box, adding the extra pipe. Had the pipe already, free. Stator, move to the left, to advance the timing. That's free. Just want to mention the torque driver mod that I just did today. That's free too, and that came from 90 GT Vert again. He shows it in detail how to do it. The spark plug Iridium, that's $10. Tighten choke cable, throttle cable. Dr. Pulley 4.5 gram sliders. Those are $20. So, but in hindsight, I would have went with 6 grams, and I don't even know if that would have worked. Reshaped the variator to smooth and angle. I angled it more and took out some of the low spots that had been done by the, had been removed by the belt wear. So I don't know. Drill clutch shoes to lighten. That's free. Grind clutch bell to lighten. That's free. I would have drilled holes in it, but I guess my bit wasn't good enough. It wasn't sharp enough because it wasn't cutting as well. I did not need any kind of contra spring. I suggest you don't even play with your spring unless you feel your rear pulley is slipping, and it's probably not because it's twice the size as your variator. So I guess your variator would probably slip before that rear one would slip, being at the I would think so, but I don't know. So clutch springs, those I still have in the bike, and they did increase the stall speed, and that's probably why I don't even need these lighter rollers. I probably just the clutch springs increase the stall. So really, in actuality, what I'm ending up with is the clutch springs for an increased stall, and that worked. Shim the variator boss and multivar. I took it out of the multivar because, like I said, take your pulleys, take a look at the way they sit on your bike, your belt on your bike, and if you can see on my rear pulley today, I saw the way the belt sat at full closed. I saw the way the belt sat in there, and I could see that the torque driver mod would allow the belt to get down a little bit further, and so I did the mod on the variator. Looking at it, I don't even need it shimmed because the belt goes all the way down with it closed. So I don't really need it. Grind clutch bell to lighten. I did that one already. Shim variator. Elongate torque driver. Did that. Amsol 2-stroke oil. 1 second. All right, 1 second. The amps, they say I think it was called Amsol Predator. They say it might give you a bump in horsepower, and it runs cleaner, supposedly. I don't have it. I didn't put it in yet, but I will. I might. And then lighter and smaller tires, which will definitely give you a boost in ability. But I'm not changing these because they're new, and again, my kids don't need it. But if these were old, I would definitely be getting a smaller height tire and not quite as wide, just a little bit less wide, but definitely a smaller height tire. I wouldn't change the rims, but I think that'd be a waste of money because the rotational mass is close to the axle, so the weight savings would not be an incredible factor for me, being that I'm not track racing. And then grind the flywheel. The flywheel, I mean, if you're going to do the stator mod on this bike, you don't even have to, you just have to take the plastic cover off here that I'm shining the light on, and you don't even have to take the flywheel off. But if you want to go extra, you can. I never took the flywheel off. If you want to go the extra step, you could take the flywheel off and grind it down. I've seen some videos on that, and that would lighten up the flywheel a little if you feel like going even more than this list. But that's it. So special thanks to 90 GT Vert, and I can't remember some of the other fellas that I found some information from, but I'm going through the trial and error. So in actuality, I could lower my. I didn't need the spring, and I found some write-ups on that you don't even change it unless you feel that it's slipping. And I didn't find that until after the fact that I bought the spring. I think I just got parts happy. The reeds, were the reeds on there? Yeah, or the reeds. Yeah, Carbon Tech reeds. They're made by Boyson. Boyson for our bike, for the Polaris, doesn't call it Boyson. It's called Carbon Tech. But that was $40. So they seem to have given it a little boost too. So I'm going to go back to the old rollers and then see how it goes after that. And I'll update this video.